Hello everyone, this is Matthew Frailey with BreakpointTrades.com. First off, I hope everyone's enjoying their nice long 3-day weekend. It's Labor Day. It is Monday, September 6th in the early evening. By the way, Steve Nelson sent out a detailed weekend newsletter hours ago. This is just a video I'm doing, a follow-up on this trade tool that I've been developing for Tradestation. Added another new feature, and I'm going to go over that. But first off, let's go over, this from the beginning, just so you understand if you're seeing this from the first time. So on the website, let me go to that. On the education area, I have this video. It's called Trade to Win. It's basically how to calculate your position size based on your risk tolerance for that trade. Okay, there's a video here for it. So if I go to that video, again, it's very simple concept. It's essentially that you define the risk you're willing to do for each trade. This example, this table shows, hey, if you're willing to do risk $500 on a trade here, and your initial entry price, if you know your initial entry price and your initial stop, you take the difference there and you can calculate the number of shares to buy. Okay. To me, calculating your risk, or using your risk to calculate your number of shares, is a much more natural method than just using a set number of shares or a set dollar amount. Okay. And looking at this video here, hello everyone. Let me move into it. We'll look at another image here. So in this video here, we'll just look at this one image. So here's an example of a chart, ERI, from a couple years ago, had clean resistance at 35.30. So if your initial swing stop would have been right around here at $33, and you were going to enter long at 35.30, and you were willing to risk $500, the calculation told you, roughly you could buy, say, 300 shares. To risk $500, if, instead this would have triggered and immediately went down and stopped out. You know your risk, and that's the whole point of, a very important point of trading is know your risk for all your trades. When you enter a trade, have a stop out or exit condition. Okay, so this is a very methodical method that will allow you to be a profitable trader if you employ it. Okay, again, what I've developed here is a method to easily do this in Tradestation, and we'll go over that. But let's go back to the website and we'll look at a couple examples and show you some new additions that I've made to this tool. So let's go to the trading community. So today, Steve here posted some trade ideas, some mining stocks, and a few other long setups. And I also posted some setups here. So I suggest you go ahead and take a look at these. But let's just take a look at a few of these using my tool in Tradestation. Again, we're not going to look at every one of them. That's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to show you where I'm at right now. Okay, so let's take a look at one of these here. ABCL. Let's take a look at that from Steve. So nice clean chart, as you can see here. It was in a downtrend this year. Started forming a little base. It broke out of that resistance here on expanded volume. Then it started going sideways. Moving averages are all coming together. You have an expansion volume on Friday. You got a clean resistance right here. Your moving average ribbon's pinched. It really looks set up. As long as the market can hold up and seasonality doesn't cause some sell-off, which we are worried about a little bit in September, especially mid-September on, you tend to get weak seasonality. So we're definitely cognizant of that. But, the market wants to go up for a while still before that. These are some long ideas to monitor. But let's say, this is a nice valid long setup. Resistance right around this 19 area. All right. Now, a really wide swing stop would be, I like to use the higher lows. That would be down here. Now, with the market where it is, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that, but let's say we are. So here's on the right side, this is Tradestation. This is the tool I developed. I like to use a daily and a 60-minute. Okay, so on the daily here, I went ahead and drew the resistance in right here, just like we have it on the daily. See that? And so let's say, we're willing to enter right here around 19. We're willing to have a swing stop here. And let's say we're willing to risk $250 on that trade. Now again, the way this tool is set up, we can define a risk. I can make it $200. I can make it $100. I can make it $500. All right. But what's cool is I have this set up to automatically be able to just set these trades. So there's a tool here. It says draw line. So what I do is I go ahead and click where I want my stop. So right at the low of this candle. And I go ahead and click right around here at 19 where I want my buy stop. All right. Then I get this thing that says place order. And now notice these orders show up right in the chart. So I got a sell stop right here. And I got a buy stop right here. And I got some profit targets automatically. So it just makes it very super convenient. So my risk is defined. If I'm willing to risk, $200, it says I could buy 78 shares. All right. Now, in reality, I would either round that down to 75 shares or 80 shares, whatever. Okay. That's the other thing I need to fix with this. I want this to automatically round to say the nearest whole, tenth of a number, or 5 shares or 10 shares, something like that. So that'll be my next iteration, but I haven't got to that point yet. But you can see it just very clearly puts the entries in. And, so the way I envision this tool to be used is you would have Tradestation, you would open the newsletters, you would look at our trade ideas, and you would simply go ahead and set your orders in. Your risk is defined. So if this is a buy stop right here, so this is your sell stop. It's not active until your buy stop is triggered. And you have targets. Now, you can also, as I showed before, you could drag these targets around. You can make them higher. You can make them lower. You can move the stop around. So if this were to trigger and you wanted to move that, tighten that stop way up to here, you can go ahead and do it. Okay. So the thing that I do every night is when we do the trade ideas, I go ahead and preset my orders for these stocks. They either trigger or they don't. That enables me to focus on other things during the day. Now, personally, I like to use a daily and a 60-minute. Okay, I like to look for earlier entries or stops on a 60 minutes. Let me cancel these orders out. Cancel that. So if you look here, notice we have kind of a flag here. Perhaps instead of using a stop all the way down here, I might elect to put a stop here. Okay. So let me go ahead and put a stop, say right here, and then put a buy stop up here. Okay. So that gives me that enables me to buy more shares, obviously, because I have a much tighter stop now. See, I could buy almost 900 shares, and then I would simply just probably widen my targets up. Okay. Again, guys, the reason why you're subscribed to Breakpoint Trades or you follow us is because you're into technical analysis. So, you're trading because of charts, right? Well, to me, then it makes the most sense to enter your trades just like you're charting just like you're charting them. It's a much more natural way versus, just entering orders on some sort of matrix that doesn't mean anything. So we're placing our trades right on the charts. Okay. Let's just take a look at some other examples here. What else do we got? Can be. Let's see if we can find a really tight one. PayPal. Here's one I posted. So PayPal, if you look here, recently broke out of a little pattern here on expanding volume. Now it has a potential bull pennant flag forming. And if you want a little measured move, you take the height here, like a symmetry, add it to here. So this could be perhaps a target if the market holds up. So I would want to trigger just over this trend line high, or maybe over this high, put a stop right there. So let's put the chart symbol into Tradestation. PayPal. Okay. So here's the chart. Okay, and like I said, it's good practice to go ahead and draw the pattern from our newsletter, from our trade ideas. So there's that trend line. Let's go ahead and draw this tight flag. Boom, boom. I don't want to place the orders. I'm just using these as trend lines. Okay. So let's say I want to place the stop. You know, we got a tight flag here. So let's say I want to go long 1 penny above this high. I want to put a stop right here. Okay. That's already a pretty tight entry. So, and we're willing to risk $250. Remember, we can change this to whatever we want. So we use this line here, and I go ahead and I want to stop right here. So I click the low of this candle. I click the high of this candle. Go ahead and hit yes to place my orders. And you can see it says to risk $250, we can buy 30 shares. So it goes ahead and places the buy stop here, and it places the sell stop right here. And I have some targets. Clear these lines out. So there you go. So my risk is defined. Again, we have an active buy stop order here, which is active. You got the sell stop order and the target limits, which are not active unless this gets triggered. Okay. So let's say here I'm targeting about 305. Maybe I move this final target price to around 304. And again, my style personally is to take some off the table. I like to scale out. So again, you could decide to not scale out. But you can see this order is now active, so I can leave it in place for tomorrow. And again, if this triggers and it sells off immediately here, my risk is $250. But in case it wasn't clear in the video, the new functionality that we added was that by drawing the line, let's cancel these orders again. We just simply draw the line where we're willing to have our stop, where we want our entry, and we get this little pop-up box and we hit yes, and it goes ahead and places those orders in the exact spot. Remember in my last video, I was using the chart trader over here to place those orders, and I'd have to drag, it wouldn't place them exactly. It would place my buy stop, but my sell stop would be in the wrong place. So this makes it automatic and so fast to do these order entries. Okay. See what else we got. AUY. It's a gold stock. Nice coil. All right. Let's go ahead and put that in here. We like those coils, as you know. Let's go and draw some trend lines here. Again, to me, what I like to do is, even though I've already drawn a pattern here, it's just good practice to go ahead and draw the same pattern on the chart. On the chart that you're already going to place your trades from. There you go. So we have a coil here. So let's say we're willing to buy, you know, right here. We'll put a stop right here. I know it seems kind of wide, but let's just do that. We're willing to risk $250. So let's say draw a line. We're going to put a stop initially right here. We're going to put a buy stop right here. It's about 25 cents that move. So based on the 25 cents, it divides that into the $250. That's how it calculates your shares. It says we can buy 1,000 shares. So hit yes. Notice we get a buy stop here, we get a sell stop here, and some targets automatically. So you can see how this is a very useful tool, guys. Again, I will be making this available to Breakpoint Trades members in the future. Like I said, I still have some additional things. You know, this one worked out perfect, gave you 1,000 shares even, but you know, it doesn't always round the shares, so I want to figure that out. I want to add a buy stop limit feature in here. I want to add some other things as well. By the way, you can also do shorts with this. This also has the ability to do shorts. I'll show you that real quick. Let's clear that. Let's cancel our orders. Let's say for whatever reason we wanted to take a short on this one right here. So I just actually do the exact opposite. Instead of starting my drawing from the bottom to the top, or from my stop to my entry, I start my drawing from from the same thing. I start my drawing always from my stop to my entry. So 25 cents. Boom. Now I have a sell stop here with a buy stop on the shares right here and targets down here. So this would be a short. Okay. Any other? Here's McDonald's. Let's just take a look at that. This will be the last one. McDonald's here, you can see you got a pretty clear resistance right around this 240 area. You have some moving averages here. There could be a stop. Notice I already have a buy stop here, but let's clear that out. So let's go ahead and put our trend line right here. Boom. And let's say McDonald's were to curl right up here and take out this high. If it were to do that, instead of putting a stop down here, I'd put it really tight at the low of this candle. So let's just do that. So we're going to put a buy stop right here. Boom. Or a sell stop, and then our buy stop would be right over this candle. So there we go. So it says we could buy 102 shares, which it placed the order for. Like I said, in the future, I'm going to have this round, so that would round to 100 shares. 100 shares instead of 102. Here's my sell stop. Here's my buy stop, and here's some targets, which, you know, I'd make a little bit wider. By the way, in a future upgrade of this, I'm also going to have another button up here that will allow you to have wider targets. So you'll be able to set the targets based on a range of the distance between your stop and your entry. Right now it's set to 1-to-1. So let's say the distance between your buy stop and your sell stop was $1. It sets the targets at $1. So you'll have a range button here that says you could have the targets at a 1-to-1 range, or a 1.5 range, or a 2 range, or a 3 range, etc. So that enables you to have them wider or tighter initially. Okay, but obviously you can drag them around where you want. Anyway, guys, that's enough of this video. It's a little bit longer than I wanted to make already. So that'll do it. Again, have a wonderful evening, everyone, and when I have future updates on this, I will let you know. Take care.